Yo, guys, I hope you're well. So, guys, I haven't been posting here at Urb'n Barz for about a week or so because I have not been well at all. But when it comes to not being well and going through their own worries and troubles and nightmares, I've heard that REN has not been in a good place for quite a while. So, I hope that REN is feeling much better. But being a real trooper that he is, REN has still managed to get stuff out, and that's what separates the great from the ordinary. Because REN has been busy, even though he's been really unwell at times. And I've read a couple of stories that I think REN was in hospital and he's had some flare ups and implications with the Lyme disease. I really hope you get better, REN, because we love what you do and we love what you stand for. And me personally, I love what comes here from your heart. This is your passion. This is what you do from the heart. And I must say, I'm maybe new to the game of checking out REN. I'm not one of the early people who followed REN before, but from the first time I heard a REN track, I knew that you were different and you were someone that we should have all eyes on. As Tupac would say, all eyes on. So guys, let's check out this track, and it's called Money Ties. And as soon as I heard the title Money Ties, I thought money ties, monetize, link it with YouTube. And I actually looked up the definition. I sort of know and knew the definition of money ties anyway, but I just looked it up and I've written it down here, as I normally do. You know what I'm like, people. So I've written down here. So money ties, or to monetize something, is to earn revenue from an asset or a business and convert it into currency. But to have money ties or links, that's to have ownership, interest, interest loans, receivables, payables, all those sort of things, people. So they sound very similar, in my opinion, money ties and monetize, but they actually mean different things. So I always say to people, always look at the actual meaning of the words themselves. But I'm a person who loves language, words, and I love all these things about the lexicon of words and everything about the philology of words. You know what I'm like, people. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that. It's our man REN. This track's called Money Ties. And I'm thinking like ties as well when you tie up. Anyway, let's not forget about that. It's almost like a mortgage, isn't it? When you tie something up, you restrict something. But let's check this out, guys. And as per normal, I've not watched it, I've not seen it, and I'm late to the show because apparently this dropped yesterday. Really? And I think it's already had 200,000 views. So let's check out our man REN. Let's go.
Godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into the world, and we cannot take anything out of the world. But if we have food and clothing, with these we will be content.
So we're talking about, and it's so true, as we come into and we leave this world, we enter this world with nothing and we leave with nothing. And to be honest with you, for every single human being that is born and present on this earth, or has been born and present, there's only two things you can guarantee, people, and that is that you're born and you die. And then we're talking about money. Money will come to some, not to everyone. It may go to some other people, etc., etc. But as long as you've got the sustenance of having food and drink and you've got shelter, those are, I think I remember this in geography years and years ago. I think there were 5 elements that you needed. Actually, it wasn't in geography, it was in business studies. I think I did. Sorry about that. But there were 5 elements that you needed to sustain yourself in life. And if you have those 5 elements, then you should consider yourself lucky. Anything else is a bonus. But it's interesting to see our man here. It looks like he's on, I don't know what floor of what skyscraper block. And it's weird because he's sitting there feet up and we can see the skyscrapers and sort of being built in the background as well. But it's almost like a minimalist place as well. So it sort of backs up what the girl's saying. You don't need that much in this world, people. So long as you've got X amount of food in your fridge, you've got water to drink, and you've got something over your head as shelter and clothes on your back, then you're not doing too badly. But in comparison to other people, maybe the top 1%, we're not doing that well, are we? I don't know. Let's check out REN.
Those who desire to be rich fall into temptation, into a snare, into many senseless and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evils.
I just wish I remember the Bible verse that comes from. it's the love and the pursuit of money which is the root to all evil. So a lot of people get it twisted. They think it's money itself. It's not entirely money itself. So if you have money in your hand, etc., etc., you could have obtained it in so many different ways. It's not actually having money in your hand, in your pocket, in your bank account, but it's the pursuit and the goal of achieving that money. And then you can maybe take the money out of it and translate it. That's not the word. You can I can't think what the word is, people, and I love words. I can't think of the word. But if you replace the word money and put into it power, maybe because money and power go hand in hand. And if you have money, you generally have power. And money is a good way to get you on the right steps to get it and to obtain and to achieve power. And it's power, in my opinion, which is possibly the root and probably the end goal of all evil. So money, power go hand in hand, but the pursuit of money is the route, is the direction you take, whether you walk or you run or you crawl or slither, is the route to all evil.
It is through this craving that some have wandered away from the path and pierced themselves with the many pangs of greed.
Money makes the world go round. Money makes a pure man lawless, proud. Money makes a man's verb consummate the noun. Cause an action to a thing is inspired by the pound of the dollar. False profit, breeds profit, and we follow. When the scholar teach dishonor, that's a bit pill to swallow. The biggest bank robber are the banks and the politicians, but judiciary are whores. What a shock when we lose sight of live and let live. Forget your soul is made much richer by the love that you give. If you're living just to make a living, that's all that is. And when you're lying, slowly dying, will you die with a grin? Now digging up the root of evil, money too like a blade. You can slice across the jugular or carve and create. But when the money ain't the means, with the means of the money, you start to compromise ideals for dollars, morals get bloody. Now let me...
Oh, sorry, I had to stop it there. I wonder what trains... Was that an airport he's at? I'm not sure. I don't know. I can just see some advertising here, so I wasn't too sure where this is. Is it an airport, an underground train station, tube station? I'm not too sure. But it was really interesting when REN, and I heard some different areas there. The first thing is the black and the white, the duality of this video. I love videos which are done in black and white. I've said that many, many a time. And it just makes you probably concentrate and everything stands out so much more. I like the hat as well. Wouldn't mind to get a hat like that in my collection, people. But REN was talking about robbers and bank robbers, etc. And some of the biggest and the vastest bank robbers aren't your normal two-person on the street, etc., etc. It's your politician, he was saying. And I loved the bit beforehand in the first verse when they were doubling Ren's voice. You heard Ren's voice double in the background. That was just so fantastic. There were so many areas of that track that I really loved, and I just really loved the smoothness of the track. And when I say the smoothness, I mean the smoothness of the music. So I just listened to it. I was listening to the bass line there, and it was really smooth. It was one of these things which is amazing, because what Ren's talking about is really, really serious, but the actual music and the backdrop he's talking over, or he's rapping over, is absolutely, the backdrop is smooth, but what he's talking to you hits you like a punch in the face. That is just incredible, Ren. So just let him let him ascend. And where are we going to go next? I have no idea.
Let me tell you a little story about a boy named Ren. Born March 1990 in the Celtic Welsh ends. We didn't have much for mum and dad. They made enough to put hot meals on the table, fill our bellies full of love. A little sister fell into the picture. Oh my God, we loved her, made our family richer. Then we both got older, world a little colder. Life, it had a way of chipping away at that shoulder. I held her and I told her hierarchy, status exists. Sometimes the purity of youth gets snatched, leaving you stripped. You learn that love is not enough, it's not a world for a kid. So toughen up and buckle up, because it's bumpy as shit.
Oh, is he in the UK? It looked like a London Underground subway. But I like the area where Ren in the second verse was saying he had a little sister and it made the family richer. And this is what I was going to say before. So in the first verse, we're talking about money is the root to all evil. Or in some ways, money is probably the destination. And power, money and power is the destination of all evil. The root to all evil is how you obtain and how you achieve that. But then he's talking about his sister made his family richer. And in so many cultures and in so many areas where no one has money. So for instance, in the Dark Ages, where there were serfs, They had no money. The only thing that could make them rich was by having family and friends. That's how what made them rich. So in different areas, in different cultures, there are different ways to define what makes you rich and what makes you happy and what makes you blessed. And this is why I'm picking up on that. I might be totally getting this twisted, but I've always been brought up on that. It's family, in my opinion, is number 1, 2, and 3 in this life. Well, family and health are number 1, 2, and 3 in this life. And having faith. 1, 2, and 3 in this life, people.
And there'll be those who take advantage of the light in your soul. And there'll be times you feel the cup you're filling leaking with holes. And that dark can get much darker. We all must grow old. But listen up, my little sister. Hold these words to your close. Keep that kind heart kind. Humankind are in need. Never ever let this world make you bitter like me.
Never ever let this world make you bitter like me. And not only did Ren say that having his younger sister made the family richer, he basically was educating his younger sister that there's a hierarchy in life. There's a hierarchy in everything. And I remember when I did business studies, we did Maslow's hierarchy of business, etc., etc. And it's really interesting, no matter where you go or where you're from, whether it's in sport, whether it's even in gardening, whether it's even in the playground when you're kids, there is a hierarchy. Some people will gravitate towards the top and use that influence and negotiation, or if they're good at that, but influencing to get to their place and maybe to put you down a peg or two. I don't know.
Cause this world needs love, and love it leaks from you, see. Sis, this world needs light, and you're the brightest I see.
Oh, this world needs light, and you're the brightest I see. So again, he's talking about his sister. I don't know anything about Ren's backstory, people. So I don't know anything about his sister, anything like that. But I do remember another artist that we have, a Mancunian, our man H, and he was talking about his younger sister as well. I've forgotten her name, but when he did a video about his younger sister, and yeah, that just really just moved me to tears. So it's really nice for people and artists and people who are in the public eye sometimes to give you a little bit of an eye-opener into their own personal life. And when they talk about family and friends, because we know that Ren lost a really, really good friend a few years ago to, I'm not going to say anything how he lost his friend, but that was in tragic circumstances. And sometimes those areas really just define your life, and you either move forward or you stand still when you use that as a motivational force, or sometimes it's a force that holds you back. But in Ren's case, it's moved him forward. And I think that in the same case as H and Ren and his sister, I think they're telling us these are areas in their lives that they look at, and these are areas in their lives that are positive and help them to move forward in this world. Because this world is not a great place, people. It is in a lot of areas, but in some areas there's forces that just really want to pull you down. And if you give in to those, then yeah, they're negative forces, and positivity is everything, guys.
Your wings have feather more than ever. Mine were torn by my oppressor. Sickness scorned me, but whatever. By your side we fly together. Give me flight when I could never. A releasing of the pressure, and the pressure makes a diamond. I will shine with you.
Pressure makes diamonds.
Fuck greed, fuck depression, fuck bullies, fuck the jealous, fuck every man who makes you feel less than a treasure. Fuck a world that makes us feel small. Fuck the forces that divide us. Now's the time to stand tall, because money makes the world go round.
Bring it up to date and bring King Charles on those folding. Really?
Money makes the sick boy sicker somehow. Money gets a man mug punched in his mouth.
Money makes the sick boy sicker somehow. So is that a double? Because Ren has been very, very sick for quite a long time. But then is he talking about being sick as in the physical form of being sick, or being sick in the metaphorical form of hip hop? That's bad being ill, and ill being bad.
Money run the gang, thug, drug money plow. Money makes open case closed. Money bend low.
Money makes an open case closed. So I think we're talking about, and I'm going to say it, people. So say, for instance, someone like a Keir Starmer. He has enough money to make cases go away. I'm not pointing a finger at Keir Starmer, but there's been lots of things going on, etc., etc., and they're not technically illegal, but they're morally not right. But if someone has money, then you have access to avenues that other people don't. So for instance, if a case came at me, am I going to beat that case? I've got no influence. But if I had influence, if I had money, etc., I have avenues to go to the top people who could probably assist me to get off and make that case, which is open, case closed.
Money gives a poor man hope. Money saves lives, takes lives, money both.
Money saves lives and takes lives, both. It's so true. It's that pursuit of money could bring out the best and the worst in people.
Money isn't, money's just that. Money's just a concept people attract.
Money is a concept people attract. And guys, at the moment, yes, we have cash. I've got no cash in my pockets at the moment, but at some point that cash will probably be digitized and be digital. So we won't even be able to see money. It's something which is going to be something in our minds. I remember seeing a program once a long time ago. Was it in the Polynesian islands where the people, they're amazing. So even from a young kid of 13 years of age, they can hold their breath for so long. They dive deep into the seas and they pull out these stones, these beautiful stones, and the stones to them are currency. So value is only in the eye of the beholder. So if these stones weren't of value to the people from, I'm certain it's the Polynesian islands, then they'd be nothing. And it's the same because we've only had paper currency for so many hundreds of years, because the paper currency was just a guarantee that the money that is identified by that currency. So say, for instance, this £10 will be backed up by gold, which had been paid by the king or whoever the ruler was at that time. So basically it was just a license to bear certain funds, so £10, £100 or whatever it was, but it had to be backed up by something. So that's why you have your Fort Knoxes and all these other places with the golds and your iron, your gold and your silver currencies, etc, etc, etc. But things move on. Right now everything's digital, so I don't know how it's all going to work in future. It's a bit of a head scratcher, but in some eyes, it's in some lives, it's what you perceive money to be as the currency. So if you perceive a beautiful polished stone as a currency, then that's what it's going to be. But if you perceive that piece of paper as currency, then that's what it's going to be. It's just in the eyes of the beholder, people.
Stop the poor man, feed up the fire. Money's just cash. Take money, take money, take money, take. Fake money, fake money, fake money, fake. Money ties, money ties, money ties, ayy. Money lies, money lies, money lies, ayy.
Whoa, that's a stairwell he's in. No people, no profit. Oh, I like that. No people, no profit. So you can spell profit as someone who foretells or foresees the future and tells you what's going to happen. And no people, no profit. So change the prophet into profit, as in FIT. Profit is excess, what you make, what gains you make. No people, no profit, no profit. Oh, I like that. And Ren just walks down the stairs. Wow. 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 That was something. That was something. Wow. That was just so smooth, wasn't it? What's that, 3.5 minutes? And I was scratching my head at each interval. There were no intervals, so I just had to make those intervals. That was really, really great. That's the first time I've seen that. I absolutely love the fact that Ren had that filmed in black and white. I love the fact that we had some intercut footage. So the subways, I'm sure he was in the UK, and I know he's in Canada at some point, but this video was shot a while back before Ren was ill, so I might be getting this totally wrong. So that was really, really interesting to see that. And it's interesting because Ren has done a few tracks which really focus in around money and around politics. So those two are never too far apart from each other, are they? So money and politics normally go hand in hand. And I wonder why that is. I really wonder why that is, people. But it is what it is, as I always say. And for some reason as well, I think about this with the money, the politics, the REN. I always think also about Sidhu Musiala, because I used to do a lot of reactions to Sidhu Musiala as well. And in his later tracks, etc., that I started to cover, Sidney Musiala was starting to talk a lot about the money, politics, and power, and how getting into and stepping into politics and started to talk about politics, he started getting a lot of kickback, as in people didn't like the idea of him getting into politics. It's the same thing with REN. It's the same thing I've been experiencing as well. I've always said I'm a nonconformist. I'm not a massive person who loves politics, but when I see something which I think is wrong, I speak up about it. And when I started speaking up about politics, people didn't like it, and I've had a lot of kickback myself. So it is what it is. But sometimes I always say you put your head up over the parapet, and if you're going to shoot my head off, you're going to shoot my head off. It is what it is. I'm only one person. What are you going to gain? I don't know. But talking about this track, monetize, whatever you want to call it, that was really, really interesting. And I'm just thinking, I don't know why. Please let me know down here in the comment section. So there was the part in verse 2, Ren brought up about his younger sister, and that sort of flowed through that verse 2. Was it verse 2, verse 3? That sort of flowed through that as well. And then there was other things about people being mistreated as well. And Ren was getting very angry about that. So I don't know if that is correct, or if I heard that correctly. Maybe I've picked up on a different thread and I've gone I've gone left field. I always do, because my mind wanders. It wanders a lot. I don't always think the straight path. I always like wander around and meander. But it is what it is. So let me know if you know what was going on there, because I'm certain Ren mentioned a younger sister, and there was other areas about that second verse. Was it verse 3 about that, which made me start to think as well. But also Ren was talking about the ties with money, big cash, big business, and politics and politicians. So make of that what you will. But guys, I absolutely love that track. That was fantastic. And that is the kind of music that I really, really love. And that is the kind of music that I was listening to. I grew up listening to with hip hop many years ago. I'm an old person. I'm as old as the hills. I'm as old as the hills. I keep telling people. So there were elements of hip hop when I was growing up, and people that I knew when I was growing up that were looking at those elements and those ties and talking about it in hip hop. But then that suddenly disappeared. Although now I'm listening to hip hop for the first time in over 10 years, etc. It seems to be coming back into the main vision and the main form of hip hop, which I think is a good thing. We should question everything. And I say that, I've always said that. Question everything, because everything is not always as it seems. And I'll just leave it at that. But guys, make certain you look after yourselves, you look after each other. I hope Ren gets better real soon, real quick, because what he's going through is not great at all, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So especially someone like Ren, who is so creative, I know it must be killing him in so many ways. But make certain you look after yourselves, guys. It's the weekend, so have fun, enjoy yourselves, so make certain you do it safely. Look after yourselves, look after each other, and please make sure you come back to the next Urb'n Barz reaction, guys.